A reading from the book of Exodus, chapter 19, verse 11 through chapter 20, verse 16. Go to the people and consecrate them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their garments and be ready for the third day. For on the third day the Lord will come down on Mount Sinai in the sight of all the people. And you shall set limits for the people all around, saying, take care not to go up into the mountain or touch the edge of it. Whoever touches the mountain shall be put to death. No hand shall touch him, but he shall be stoned or shot. Whether beast or man, he shall not live. Whether the trumpet sounds a long blast, when the trumpet sounds a long blast, they shall come up to the mountain. So Moses went down from the mountain to the people and consecrated the people, and they washed their garments. And he said to the people, be ready for the third day. Do not go near a woman. On the morning of the third day, there were thunders and lightnings and a thick cloud on the mountain and a very loud trumpet blast, so that all the people in the camp trembled. Then Moses brought the people out of the camp to meet God, and they took their stand at the foot of the mountain. Now Mount Sinai was wrapped in smoke, because the Lord had descended on it in fire. The smoke of it went up like the smoke of a kiln, and the whole mountain trembled greatly. And as the sound of the trumpet grew louder and louder, Moses spoke, and God answered him in thunder. The Lord came down on Mount Sinai to the top of the mountain, and the Lord called Moses to the top of the mountain, and Moses went up. And the Lord said to Moses, go down and warn the people, lest they break through to the Lord to look, and many of them perish. Also let the priests who come near to the Lord consecrate themselves, lest the Lord break out against them. And Moses said to the Lord, the people cannot come up to Mount Sinai, for you yourself warned us, saying, set limits around the mountain and consecrate it. And the Lord said to him, go down and come up, bringing Aaron with you, but do not let the priests and the people break through to come up to the Lord, lest he break out against them. So Moses went down to the people and told them. Then God delivered all these commandments. I, the Lord, am your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, that place of slavery. You shall not have other gods besides me. You shall not carve idols for yourselves in the shape of anything in the sky above, or on the earth below, or in the waters beneath the earth. You shall not bow down before them or worship them. For I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, inflicting punishment for their fathers' wickedness on the children of those who hate me, down to the third and fourth generation, but bestowing mercy down to the 1,000th generation on the children of those who love me and keep my commandments. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain, for the Lord will not leave unpunished him who takes his name in vain. Remember to keep holy the Sabbath day. 6 days you may labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord your God. No work may be done then either by you or your son or daughter or your male or female slave or your beast or by the alien who lives with you. In 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, the sea and all that is in them. But on the seventh day he rested. That is why the Lord has pleased the Sabbath day, has blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy. Honor your father and your mother, that you may have a long life in the land which the Lord your God is giving you. You shall not kill. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. In our passages today, we see how Moses and the people prepared themselves to receive the law of the Lord. They fast. They cleanse themselves. They abstain from marital relations for 3 days. And then Moses tells them to get ready, but not to come too close. God, in the Old Testament, worked through mediaries. He worked through mediators, somebody who stood between him and the people. But as Hebrew says, in the last day, he came through his Son, that God himself has come to us to be our mediator. We see that this mountain, it's trembling. So it's like there's an earthquake, and there is fire and smoke that is rising up from this mountain. There is some kind of miraculous sign. And then it is some voice says to Moses that sounds like thunder. This voice says, "Do not let anyone come, lest the Lord take vengeance on them." And so it's not clear if that this first step, Moses is talking to an angel, somebody else, before he gets to the top of the mountain and talks to the Lord. It says, "Then God delivered all these commands, I, the Lord," and it goes through what we know as the 10 Commandments. And we hear these commandments, that these should be the general application for the law. Now, what's interesting about the law in terms of the 10 Commandments is that it is very different than Hammurabi's code. It is very different than early Roman books of laws, because it deals with the individuals and their relationships with each other, and the individuals and their relationships with God. It is not interested on business transactions. It is not interested on what a punishment should be for doing this or that. Rather, what it is in its first part is that it says, if people are able to have a right relationship with themselves, with others, and ultimately with God, then the small things will take care of themselves. Now, in addition to the 10 Commandments, they make up a larger group, which are the 600 plus laws that Israel has. And the reason that they have these 600 laws in many ways is either to help them to remember those 10 laws, or because they have failed to practice those 10 laws. G.K. Chesterton says that when you get rid of laws, you don't have no law, rather you have more laws. When you say you cannot steal, it is very clear. But if you get rid of that law of you cannot steal, then you have all of these other laws in between. When you get rid of honor your father and mother, what happens? Now you have to have custody disputes. Now you have to have problems in broken families. Now you have to deal with all of these other issues. Now you have to deal with all of these other things. When it says, love the Lord your God and don't make other idols, getting rid of this law leaves you in a place where you start to make idols, where you start to worship other things, where you start to obsess over other things, be they drugs, be they sports, be they obsession about work. We see also with this insistence on keeping the Sabbath, this fights the idea of greed. It fights this idea that life is about making money. It fights this idea that I can try and take advantage of others. Why? Because everybody, workers and non-workers, capitalists and laborers, slaves and free people, they all have dignity. They all deserve rest. In these laws, we see something that can revolutionize the Israelites if they are able to follow it. But time and time again, they are not. able to follow it. And so we must fast forward to a time when again God the Father speaks and people think it was thunder. When Jesus says, "What should I say? Father, save me from this hour. Father, glorify your name." And God the Father says, "I have glorified it, and I will continue." And what are we talking about? Jesus going to the cross. Through Jesus' incarnation, through his death, through his resurrection, through his ascension, through his sending of the Holy Spirit, he gives us the ability to follow the 10 commandments, and he summarizes them as 2 commandments. Love the Lord your God with all your mind, with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength, and love your neighbor as yourself.